some people from different parts of the country will go like, okay, so we see a lot of opportunities, and none of them is coming to our regions. So people are building startups. People have, we do have tech hubs across the country, but then we don't hear about what they are building. So people start in Accra, get about 100, 200 customers, and then say they are scaling. They are moving to Rwanda, Nigeria.
Wow.
You understand? That is
No
shade. No shade.
All right, it's another day on Building Bytes podcast, where we tell relevant stories in the Ghanaian tech ecosystem to fuel innovation and drive growth in the digital economy. So once again, with myself, Caleb Lamte, as your co-host or host, anyone you choose, we are okay with it. I'm here with
Yao,
Akwele,
and Poga.
Okay, so before we continue, check out the link, subscribe, comment, like. You've not heard of it, but still comment, say something.
Yeah.
So we are waiting for you. Okay, so today we are talking about Ghana's tech identity. It's a big conversation by different definitions, by different articles, by different writings. We've been classified in different categories according to which one suits your company or yourself. So before we go, we want to start with what's happening in tech. Poga, what's happening in tech?
What's happening in tech? I think it's a big week for AgriTech companies. They've been exhibiting all around the world. Ghana to the world for you. Even bigger for Farmline. So Farmline has been exhibiting at Chukau. They're doing an immersive VR experience to give the participants of the fair a look into the future of sustainable farming, how it's going to be like. I think it's happening in the Netherlands. And even bigger for their CEO, is gotten into the board for Heifer International, an organization that has spent a decade empowering farmers and strengthening local economy and creating sustainable livelihood. Big time for them. What do you people think?
Congratulations.
Congratulations to our Lord.
Farmline amazing. It seems if there could be maybe a multi-billion-dollar agri-tech
to be Farmline
in Ghana, it seems it's going to be Farmline.
Yeah, I think it's going to be agriculture in total. We were seeing this African tech to the world. We are looking at was it Move and other companies going into Asia. I think most definitely agri-tech companies could move into Asia and also Southern America.
They already work in those regions.
I think they already have their products there.
Okay, their product, but no presence.
But I think they could have a more established presence because the economy looks exactly like the Ghanaian economy. They do a lot of farming there. A lot of farming in South America and Asia. So maybe they could be our Ghanaian, company that's projecting Africa to, the world stage.
Maybe we can argue probably because of maybe race and stuff, they might not get there as soon as we want, because definitely sometimes raises makes it easier. Moves clearly. The move you're talking about is MOOV, the Mobility
Our listeners know.
Asset Lending Company. Maybe for those who are listening for the first time, I know you listening off, you are not part of them. For those ones, because sometimes because of their raises, it's easy, like it gets to $1 billion.
Their partners.
Yes, they get to $1 billion company easier.
Move with Uber. What's it called?
Waymo, the self-driving car, and the acquisitions. I mean, the acquisitions that come up. So we are shooting for Farmline.
Yeah, I think somebody else, Farmline has a lot of partners all around the world, the international organization. I think if they establish the vision to move, they could easily move. I know they're in Cote d'Ivoire and a lot of other African countries.
50 countries.
Yeah,
50 countries. Wow.
We're hoping they establish more presence in, outside the continent, take the Ghana flag high.
Yeah, I'm glad they are doing amazing things with the AI, Meg AI, and Meg Data, and all that. Really interesting to see that. Yeah, and also Complete Farmer was also showcased there.
Complete Farmer. I think they're also in Germany, doing a showcase. For food manufacturers, industry leaders. they're showcasing their transformation technology in Africa. I think, they're in Germany doing an exhibition there. Yeah,
that's also amazing. Formerly, would have thought maybe some cocoa board and cocoa making companies will be there, but now we are seeing tech companies. But we understand. Oh no, if somebody's office has been locked and the key has been taken away, you have to find a place. So maybe those who have offices should represent Ghana at a higher level. So glad to see the Ghanaian tech companies like taking the flag higher. We want to be showcased at these programs and without much like political influence, make impacts as anyone. So great. Okay. Any other news?
I think that'll be all for now. I think Complete Farmer is showcasing at Fruits Logistica 2025.
I think there's one thing, the tow boats.
Yes, they brought that one up. So the government is bringing back the toll booths and they are looking at digitizing it, the process. And they said they were going to put out an open and transparent process.
And we trust them to do that.
But it's interesting how we are having like this conversation and we are building page, our WhatsApp forum. And all of a sudden it came up. I don't know, maybe we have some.
Maybe some people had some inside information.
You guys raised it a while ago, and then they just,
but I believe digitizing toll booths, revenue collection, and how we take it could be a significant step to like our digital economy, like getting everyone on. Because if now I don't have to give anybody money there for us to assume he's taking some of the money home, he's not accounting well, and we have to check all that. And the machine can just track my card, or I put my debit card like we do on UG campus and other campuses. It will be like much easier to do. Everybody gets a card.
So I think on the implementation, I would be very concerned if they want to go it's the route that UG goes. The impact
straight like that.
Oh, it's possible. I mean, if you go to Dubai, my I visited Dubai for the first time. We use a lot of the train a lot, and it was easy like getting a card. Like get to the train station, get a card easily, then use it. I mean, if you leave money on,
like the traffic it would create and the economic impact that would.
If you have a card sensor that you put in front of like a car like UG, you just scan. You want to get the scans and you move.
But it will take a significant amount of time. I mean, taking the tickets was also
I've experienced tap and go. I think 3 times tap and go. The electric buses around, and it's quite interesting when you're onboarding new passengers.
Okay.
So before you board, we tell you have a phone.
Okay.
If you don't have a phone, don't let you board because you can't pay. But if you load cash onto the card, it's very seamless and it works. Accra, Medina, Adenta, Accra. It works. You just tap. So and I think like it's also onboarding people to experience like seamless payments on the go.
So also I believe that we could use a seamless technology where you just pass and the whatever
plates.
tools will be deducted from your. I think
but the issue with that is probably the car owners. No, I don't think many people transfer or the transfer of car ownership and things happen that fast for you to charge it on someone's account. Because that would be like the infrastructure around it. If that doesn't happen fast, that means somebody will pay for
the best use case.
That would be the best use case. For someone we pay for someone.
These things, tend to fail. I mean, if you're being 2G, you tend to like be swiping at them a while. Some of the drivers like be pushing it to the sensor. It takes the time to recognize. So I think DVLA has the existing technology. I think there's a technology in the current number plates that they could use it to just read it.
But some of the cars are too old to be read into the system, so probably might not catch it.
Well, I mean,
but what if they just tap like as you said? You just maybe you get there.
I mean, there were chances that it won't work.
Yeah,
and on the day that doesn't work, it means.
But on UG campus, if it doesn't work, the
security would assist.
There will still be traffic.
So the traffic impact that will be creating will be the concern. But let's see how.
Also, that traffic also brings business to people who sell
by the roadside. Unless AME wants to sack some people by the roadside.
That's our culture.
Yeah. But I think that addition will be, even if you don't get 100% or even hit 50% revenue collection, like that's a good step. So like everybody starts to psych their mind that now we don't have to pay anybody, you can go cashless. A lot of the agencies are
also like the fact that we are exchanging this for e-levy.
Yeah.
So we are boosting our.
We
are.
I mean,
the finance minister will finally.
So I mean,
it is on a different track.
I mean, the levy has not been confirmed.
They will confirm it at the next hearing.
Hopefully,
they will confirm.
I think let's wait for the budgets to be
out.
out.
I'm very sure they will confirm it.
I mean, they have put themselves into a corner where they cannot get out of the levy.
So they have to.
When they finish, there will be other taxes they have to take off as well. So
COVID-19.
But I like how it seems we are open to this change, like bringing toll booths revenue back again, collection back again, and I've not seen a lot of free about it. Even with the electronic whole thing, like people have not made any bad name on it yet.
I mean, I think the number of people e-levy affects, it's relatively way higher than a lot of people toll booth doesn't affect.
But I don't think toll booth is to replace e-levy.
That was the communication, actually. That's how people understand it.
But that's different. Like the size of revenues are totally different.
I might be wrong, but I think Atufosin mentioned toll booth revenues are quite huge or something like that.
I don't think they are up to e-levy.
No, they're not.
They're not comparing.
No, compared to e-levy, no.
Sorry, they're not comparing.
All right. So, you're seeing how to implement it. For us, majority is from like how it's how efficient it is, and we'll be glad to see what the government does with that. Kudos to the government, by the way. So, moving on to Talking Bytes. Today, we want to discuss how people perceive or how we see the Ghanaian tech industry, the identity of the Ghanaian tech industry in 2025. And not to forget, this podcast is proudly supported by Haptel Academy and the able team members we have in the studio.
Yeah.
But what defines Ghana's tech identity in 2025? It's a new year. Yeah. Some of us have set new goals for the year. What identity are you carrying as a digital economy? Any ideas to share? Before I think
it's a very deep question. I don't know where we want to start from, but I think so. I'll start by looking at other ecosystems and how I see them. Okay. So if I take an ecosystem like India, which I've been following for some reasons, I don't know why, but for their startups, their startups are very unique, right? I think there are two main type of startups there. There's one built locally targeting the US market, and there's one built locally for local use cases.
Really?
And they are very unique. The problems they are solving are very unique. Like you won't be able to understand why this exists until they tell you, okay, it's because of A, B, and C. And for me, I think I identify them as an ecosystem that really understands their problems and they want to really solve it. That's how I identify like the Indian ecosystem. And for our ecosystem, I honestly don't know how. I hope we'll be able to come up with something based on this conversation or based on the indicators that we'll discuss. But I still don't know how we identify our entire ecosystem as.
Let's say comparing it to countries, I think probably people might disagree, but I think we might be a little bit similar to Rwanda in terms of size and the ambition we have. I think for the past 8 or even more years.
But in terms of implementation, are they really there?
Is Rwanda really there, or are we
I don't.
Really there?
No, they are more
advanced.
They're advanced than
I think
technology companies raises.
They've been, I think, probably sitting from the inside, you would think that, I think when we put it on a scale, we are probably a little bit better than Rwanda.
I'm trying to find numbers
and stuff.
And policies.
But I think, policies
they might be ahead.
Yes, policies might be ahead. But private entities,
sitting might inside, be ahead. I think we might underestimate, the Ghana's tech ecosystem coming from, an insider's perspective. But I think in the last 8 to 12 years, I think the government have been pushing a little bit hard to implement policies that grow the ecosystem. This is beyond politics. I think BOG has been doing a lot of stuff to push the ecosystem, not as fast as we want, but at least we could see something like a draft bill for cryptocurrency, which in other countries, they got totally banned. And,
no one talks about it.
We saw that, they were going for it and they just took a very big step back and, blame some players in the industry for...
Arrest people, detain them.
for all the problems. So, I mean, I think I'll compare it a little bit to Rwanda, and I think we getting there. We putting in policies. Maybe the market size is a little bit like Rwanda. I think the little bit disadvantage to Ghana's tech ecosystem is the market size. It's very robust, but sometimes players don't see it's that much valuable. That's why most people would want to move to Nigeria, but also it's also a different game all over there. So comparing to countries, maybe a little bit like Rwanda, as I said, the governments have been putting in policies, and hopefully this government will keep pushing this policy. The communication minister designates Sam George. Join is vetting. He seems to have very big and bravados vision.
Bravados.
And we hope
Very agile
vision.
I learned
We hope some of
very
those
copious
visions
vision.
come in, and I think it will push the ecosystem forward.
Yeah, I think for me, how I see it, I'm just going to compare it to Nigerian ecosystem. I was just having a chat with someone here who mentioned something about the fact that we can tag them as, advanced in terms of fintech. Like they have a lot of startups. Sorry.
No, allowed. No name calling.
They have a lot of.
You can call the names if
To
you
whom
want.
it
Oh
may
yeah, shout
concern.
out to Maxwell. Okay, sorry. You cut that.
No, you're not cutting. You're not cutting. We can continue. This part of it.
Yeah. What was it?
Use this time to
No,
subscribe.
Nigerian startup. Yeah, use this time to subscribe. We are taking a laughter break. So. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. But then for me, how I see Ghana, our tech ecosystem is not decentralized. I'm going to start with what is not.
Okay.
Yeah, because probably we see innovation in different parts of the country, but we don't hear about it. Maybe there's a bias because I am in Accra. I hear a lot about things happening in Accra.
Yeah.
That can be a bias, but then generally, you see people even on we are building community. Some people from different parts of the country will go like, okay, so we see a lot of opportunities, and none of them is coming to our regions.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
So people are building startups. People have, we do have tech hubs across the country, but then we don't hear about what they are building. So people start in Accra, get about 100, 200 customers, and then say they are scaling. They are moving to Rwanda, Nigeria.
Wow.
You understand? That is
Are you
no
trading
shade.
shades?
No shade. No shade. But that's the truth, honestly. And we understand that the ecosystem is small, it's cute. We don't have a lot of numbers because we are a small country, a smaller country as compared to others. But then the innovation is not decentralized. But how I see Ghana's tech ecosystem is growing.
Yeah.
We are quick to adapt to change when we see that this thing has been going on for a very long time and we don't like it.
Yeah.
We want to change it and we will. And the youth coming up are very open to having discussions and questioning the system.
True.
When they see it's not working, they want to improve on it, or they want to, pool resources together to get things working. So, and that is an indicator for growth. That is an avenue for, a lot of, we are going to see a lot more advancements because of this attitude. And it's given. I'm going to borrow Gen Z words.
Are you sure you're no one?
Shots fired.
Okay, I may be. Yeah, but then it's given a lot of
That's your identity. Sister.
That's your identity.
thank you. Yeah. A lot of I am standing for this. I'm going to change it. And that energy I see it is spreading across the country.
Yeah, so generally Ghana has established itself as one of the fastest growing digital economies with a vibrant startup ecosystem, notable tech hubs, and an increasing number of local and international investments. Before we move into like the breakdown session, one of the things I just want to highlight too is that our digital economy has also been significantly improved or have achieved a larger market size because of donor organizations. People like MasterCard, people like Generations, people a lot of them. In fact, World Bank and all that. In fact, I believe most of our UNICEF, most of our tech house were built by them to a large extent. People started it, but they kept it alive. Because most of the programs you see happening
in some cases, when they leave, the house also
the house also collapsed and no one has been there. So we can't talk about the growth of our digital economy or identity without the support we get from foreign partners, foreign donors. They played a significant role in our.
Can you sustain an ecosystem with that approach?
Definitely, you can't.
With donor funds,
you can't. But it's to build you up to a certain level.
Yeah.
Because some of the companies we have now actually were started by grants and a lot of opportunities, like general non-equity opportunities. And today they are good on equity basis. And Farmline is a good example. Farmline started a lot on grants and support.
That's true.
But now it seems to be a proven profitable company startup. Not profitable, but proven private company. I don't know their profit. That's why I don't want to say that. But a private company, a successful.
That's doing well.
That's doing well, yeah. So want to encourage people generally to, if your business can make use of grants, like feel free and get some money from them, put it into the business, not into your pockets.
Yeah.
Plenty to some people's hearts. But moving on to the first, we want to discuss the innovation and entrepreneurship, the rise of homegrown startups and digital solutions in our local ecosystem, or the local problems they solve. I mentioned India solves a lot of local problems. How do you see Ghana driving local innovation?
I think there are a number of also like odd Ghanaian startups or Ghanaian products that solve like unique problems. I'll mention one company, Built.
Yeah.
So from afar, you think Built doesn't really do anything. Like you think they are just there.
Yeah.
When you talk to people who run small businesses, people who run schools, and you realize that they are heavily dependent on Built.
Yeah.
Because probably they don't want to hire accountants.
Built accounting. Okay.
Yeah, Built accounting.
The initial Built that came to mind was a different Built. So
that was Build. The Build company. That's Julian. Yeah. Built accounting.
Yeah, Built accounting.
Yeah. So I think they are solving a very peculiar need. And then for me, one indicator I know if a company is doing well or not is their hiring rate.
Yeah.
Sometimes it might be because of churn or what's not. But I think if a company is consistently hiring, it probably means they are growing or they are doing well.
Yeah.
And they are doing that. And I also know people who are using their app and who are using it and they are using it and they are,
it's very similar.
Yeah, it's very similar.
I know a number of people like across the
they
country
can improve on their UI
using their app.
Yeah.
Shout out to Restus and the team at Built. I think they're doing.
I think they are solving like the need for the average SME or the SME driving, and it's a very good local product. We hope they get up there. I think they're even outside of Ghana.
They're in I think about 4 or more countries. The last time I was speaking to somebody from there, they were getting a license into Sierra Leone, or they had gotten a license into Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
And that was like a year or 2 ago. So I think Built is doing like significantly well.
I think they got funded by the Google for Startups.
Yeah, Google for Startups. Yeah. So they're part of it.
I think they are the only Ghanaian company who got that funding and still alive.
And still alive.
I think the others are like that.
Others may have pivoted.
Yeah, or changed the names or rebranded.
Please, I'll stand on it. The other ones are still alive.
Okay.
I think they are doing extremely well. Yeah. And if I also mention the legacy companies, which is doing extremely well, I'll be biased, forgive me. It's Haptel, right?
Yeah.
So, though the consumer focus of Haptel is doing extremely well, I also think the B2B part, which we don't see, is also doing extremely well. Sometimes when you make payments and then you see, I don't know where I saw it, but then I saw a text and then you see the back end, the PSP which is doing the processing. You'd be surprised to know that it is these guys who are processing the money. I think they are doing extremely.
I think my
well.
laundry provider helped to process it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they process a lot of stuff, a lot of way. Other companies do, but Hopto also does a lot.
Yeah.
And I think it's also one.
We recently had the hackathon over the weekend with Open Function.
Okay.
That's Google Developer Groups and Open Function. And it was basically a health tech accelerator, how we'll be able to have a seamless digital identity when it comes to birth certificates, birth and death, registration and all that. And I was actually surprised that about 30 adapters, so they call it adapters because it's like, how do you even call this thing? What they do is basically automate a lot of systems. So you have a system, you have different parts of it. You automate it with Open Function. And I was surprised to see Haptel on it. Because these are foreigners. They have
partners and
they have a lot of these, MailChimp. And then I saw Haptel, I was like, oh, okay.
Ghana Tech.
I was actually very proud. So that's what we use for the hackathon. It's pretty seamless.
Talking about people solving local problems, I think ZP is still in fintech. I mean, ZP has been like also an amazing one, helping people receive like remittances. I was surprised to hear that direct to mobile remittance, like remittance from wherever it is in the world to your mobile money, was pioneered by them, like globally. So they have like
globally.
I think maybe globally. I'll argue globally because they have like this agreement with MoneyGram. So globally, MoneyGram's money to mobile wallet is done by ZPay globally. They have that agreement, and I think they pioneered that thing.
Wow.
And it was all because there was something like a local problem. And today, remittance is one of like the biggest, I won't say donations, but funding ways that come to a country or also. So it's interesting. These both solve local problems and end up to be like global businesses. Arguably like global businesses. I know which other
Grow for me.
Okay.
Yeah, Grow for me. I think they pioneered crowdsourcing. So I think they have led the implementation of a policy that I think has been adopted. On crowdfunding, and I think they are also solving a local problem.
I think Grow for me was instrumental in the crowdsourcing piece, but I think other people were playing it. Complete Farmer was playing in there, but they pivoted their model. So
Kudex was also there.
Kudex was also there.
I don't know if they're still around.
I don't know whether they're still around.
Some of my friends put money there. They didn't get them.
Wow.
That's bad.
Maybe by now they've gotten the money.
These are my opinion, not the truth.
I know.
I think what going for me will be a Soko.
Soko. Amazing one.
Bring them up. And also to connect to that issue. I think Soko is doing well solving local problems. I mean, agriculture is, I think, the biggest sector in Ghanaian economy. I think about the last time I heard 60% of people are into agriculture. And I think they're solving it in a very efficient way, using, simple feature phone, mobile-based tools. Connecting farmers to markets, I think is very efficient. I just wanted to connect it to the fact that, solving, local and unique problem in Ghana tends to be a little bit challenging because, most of the places that, we need solutions and we need these solutions, there seems to be a lack of, quality infrastructure there. People try to target, some of these places, the rural areas, and the infrastructure that needs to be there to support it's not there. I mean, Ghana's infrastructure is very advanced. I was reading the article we put out. Internet penetration is 135%, but that's concentrated in just certain areas.
I bet. So when we had Alex on the show, I think we asked him. They've been expanding outside of Accra. We asked him what was the internet challenges and things like that. And I think you mentioned it wasn't really an issue. If you use MTN, it's not an issue.
You think it's not? I think for the areas that Hoptel is expanding to, Tamale and all those stuff,
it
tends not to be an issue.
Yeah.
But if you go into the very rural areas, that farmers and local agriculture people, it starts to be an issue that it becomes a challenge. That solving these problems, tends to be a hurdle. So yeah, I think that's something that characterizes some parts of the ecosystem that needs to be addressed. I don't know. I think governments have been pushing policies to help address some of these issues. I think something like mass sharing. I think it's
that one is working.
It's working, but I don't know why they've not advanced to areas. I think MTN recently signed a contract with is it ISA?
I don't know.
There's this statistical
ISSA. ISSA.
University of Ghana.
Yes, University of Ghana.
There's statistical.
Yeah.
I think it helps them. I think
something.
Eric mentioned it once that they had such an agreement back with them in like.
They are doing a research with agency banking. The agents network.
Yeah.
So how they can drive financial inclusion through the agents network.
Okay.
That's what they're researching. So.
If they could do that to drive more coverage.
Yeah.
Because I recently got another network's SIM to see if I get better coverage in my area. Because
is it MTN? Is it Vodafone or Telecel or Tigo?
Oh, I have both of the other ones, and they are still not as great as MTN. It's still not as great as MTN, and I was very disappointed. Because I have challenges with MTN, and I was trying to switch, but still not.
And I think I'm talking about also innovation and entrepreneurship. Definitely, we don't classify telcos much in this space, but they have also played like a significant role. Significant role.
I don't know if busy internet is a telco. It was a telco. It wasn't a telco. ISP.
Yeah. It was an ISP.
ISP.
Internet service.
I think back in the days when we interviewed Cecil, I think he mentioned it was very, very instrumental in at their time when they were coming up as startups.
They ran is it kind of a hub or co-working space? I think companies like Isoko and a lot of other people came out.
Insano was also there.
Insano was also there. So yeah, a handful of companies came out of business internet co-working hub because they had high internet speed and they seem to have that network and support people.
Maybe now I think MTN and stuff are doing things with the Ayoba hackathon, but I don't know how effective it is in terms of that skill, like producing the skill of companies companies that we've mentioned.
Okay, so moving on to the next thing on the identity. We want to talk about government and policy support. You mentioned that you were comparing it to Rwanda since that was one of the countries that came up. You mentioned policy-wise, we believe Rwanda could be ahead, but also there are certain industries or sectors we believe we have also proven to be like thought leaders or leaders in those industry. What do you think government and policy on Ghana's tech identity?
Government policy. I think government policies are there, to be honest. There are a couple of them. We have these institutions that are like National Youth Entrepreneurship Program. We have Ghana Tech Lab. It's also one there.
Ghana Enterprise Agency.
Yeah, so there are a lot of them. GIC had been running one program with the government. I don't know, but they're there. But I think my challenges with these policies would be the implementation of it, right? The implementation seems not to be that effective in creating long, lasting companies that seems to grow years and years after the program. And I don't know, it's not something that we could totally fault the government. A lot of other organizations run programs that, the failure rates are like 90%. It's worldwide. So we can't totally seem to fault the government. But yeah, I think these policies, they tend not to produce the result that we have. I think when last we talked to Ghana startup, was it Ghana Hubs Network? They were working with the government, Josiah. They were working with the government to create a startup bill.
They also had
I think they were working with the government to bring the startup bill out. I think it was in drafts.
Yeah, it's still
in draft.
That's like
It was
Yeah.
February.
Yeah.
It was February.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
That's
But it's understandable. It was an
It's a
election
bill.
year.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, they could have prioritized it. But yeah, I mean, hopefully this government will pick it up and work on it. I think these governments have promised to work on other policies and bills. So I think you could talk about it.
I think I want to talk about the Ghana domain name registry. Sometime last year, there was a whole conference around it where the .gh and then
I'm looking forward to
.gov.gh.
I'm looking
So
forward
now
to
it's publicly accessible. When you
not
go to
.com.gh.
there's
Just one
.gh.
.gh. It's accessible. Where?
Yes. The Ghana domain name registry. So you can literally register right from the website. That's what
Really?
they said. I haven't tried it. But
No,
I
we
mean,
drop- Okay.
there was a conversation on the GDG Accra platform, and quite a number of people actually mentioned that it works for them too.
Wow. I've not seen the only .gh domain I know is Parliament. Parliament.gh.
Okay.
Apart from that, I don't know any
Yeah,
other
so it's
.gh.
probably the pricing.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah. For me, I think policy-wise, just like Boga said, implementation. But I think sometimes it's not implementation. Sometimes founders, builders, businessmen.
I wanted to say that. It's the
Just
people.
also, don't know about it too as well. Because it was interesting to know that there are a number of like tax reliefs as a startup, as an agribusiness, as like various industries that for like 5 years or so you're free from that.
Yeah.
Something under the National Youth Employment Program, you can apply for that.
Yeah, even you don't have to be part of that program, you can apply for it. You have access to it.
I even think right now the Office of the Register of Companies has also
announced the no need.
No need to file if you don't have if your turnover is not over 40,000. 40,000. Yeah. So all of
400,000.
Let me just Google it.
Yeah, it was around 400,000 or 100. A little. I mean, over 100,000. But all this information exists, but startups, we don't know about it, and usually we think we are breaking the law, but it's just ignorance that we are executing at a high level.
The people thing I wanted to talk about the some of the programs not working, and don't you think sometimes it's the people who get into the program, and also the mentality that we get, not in terms of programs that are pitching programs that you pitch and you get money.
Okay.
So now isn't the mentality of people getting into the program that maybe I'm going to make money?
I think it's the funding environment. If we had more VC, so when I started my entrepreneurship journey, I started with Ghana Tech Lab. I'm laughing because someone said entrepreneurship, and it was just an inside joke. Sorry. Anyway, so with Ghana Tech Lab, we had they had funding from the World Bank and support from the Ministry of Communications, and there was quite a number of pitch competitions. They'll say, "Oh, apply to this, apply to that." I think the UNDP also supported the government's program called SDG Innovation something in the Volta region, which we pitch, you apply. So you realize that you'll be going to pitch competitions and you see similar people, the same kind of people coming for every single one of them, trying to get the same amount of money. And most of the time, the money is not even dispatched to you after the program.
Wow.
If they will,
did you get any money that wasn't given to you? You're forgiving them now, but we are just asking.
I am forgiving them, so it's okay. It's okay.
How much was it? How much was it supposed to be?
Wait, let me drink water.
So why should drink the water?
Honestly,
how much?
Like we have to talk about this.
Well, you can find the plug of you holding the money on the association.
Yes. Once you get the plaque, that's it.
That's the money.
That's the money.
Wow.
Yeah, like a couple of times. And it wasn't just me. If it were just me or my team members, it would have been okay. So now people are very, I don't know how to put it, but we basically want to get support. The government is not putting out grants like in the United States. You see some policies going around that, okay, there's the startup grants, come for it. I mean, it's not a loan-based kind of money. It's grants, like literal grants, or it's a VC coming up saying, okay, we are looking for early stage, middle stage startups who want to support. We don't see much of this. So you see hubs who have gotten some funding from these donor companies you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
And most of the time, they're also having their own priorities.
Yeah.
But then they also want to give feedback to the donor companies. So they would want to showcase something, get a media event, and tell them that this is our impact. And most of the time, if you look at some of the impacts from some of the hubs and the kind of people they say they've supported, and you actually like go deep into it, you realize that honestly, like, let's be real.
It's like this issue is like a whole topic.
I think this is a whole topic. Like, we are making Akuli emotional now.
I'm very emotional.
But also, I mean, I think about, there being the caliber of people and, with regards to, I think I saw a LinkedIn post. I tried to find it, but I couldn't find it. And, it talks about how some of these programs trying to put in audits, measures that, startup have to bear the cost of these audits to make sure that, the funds disbursed are being used for the appropriate thing. And, the time it costs some of these funders to, put in, these audits and, put out, a plan on how the money is going to be spent. It's
the startups' fault.
No, I'm saying is the arguments being made that, there is a lot of, guardrails be put in place to make sure that the money is spent well. Okay. And it's
locally.
I think it was in the Netherlands or somewhere there.
Okay.
And it ends up, startup founders end up spending a lot of time on it. And in some cases spending a lot of money. So I think as you said, that the organizations wants to make sure the money is being spent on the right thing. Yeah. And also, they have to balance it with, making sure that they don't burden the founders with too much work that, they end up spending most of the time, making sure this, wasting their time with reports and all those stuff. I think somebody raised that.
By this case, you're not even getting the money to report on. That's what the point is making.
But I don't think this is a government policy issue.
No, it's different.
It's different. Yeah. So maybe we have to have this discussion and I think, but so we want to just move on to the next session or the next subject.
Just want the informational point. The OCR comment was the fact that small and medium-sized companies are no longer required to file a comprehensive annual report. And then the classification of small and medium. Small is revenue between 0 to 400,000 cedis, and the medium is a revenue between 400,000 cedis to 10 million cedis. Yeah.
So if you are over small, that's where you report.
Yeah, if you are like
400,000 less, you don't report. Yes, I think that.
So annual report, paying someone to do audit, all of that is out of the way.
Scrapped. Yeah, cool. Yeah. So on talent, what's Ghana's identity on talent? We sometimes seem to make noise as if we have the best of talent in the world. We have the most sought after people in the world. When you go on Twitter and our boys are allowed, not allowed, loud. As if they work with the best. All of them are working in the best of companies in the world. What do we have to say? On the talent development in Ghana?
We'll let the developers start and then we'll follow.
I mean, what's the question? Is it like the nature of the talents?
Yeah,
the state, the quality, the
training, the offers, the opportunities,
the output.
The output. I think that's a major one.
I think we have fairly enough skilled talents. There are a lot of. I'll take this to a different trajectory, but there are a lot of skilled talents. Some that are exported outside their country. To do stuff for other multinationals. Yeah. And there's also some that stays in house. Build great companies like Hotel and the likes. Some work in telcos and other stuff. So I think we have the talents, but also I would take in the trajectory. I think the trajectory I'm taking in, some exist here. There are people that are challenged in the ecosystem, but to be able to develop very high quality talents, you would need people to be doing very experimental thing and not
exposed.
Yeah, very procedural thing. I think most of the talents that are hired here are hired to do very
basic
basic, like not say basic, but very, let's use the word procedural. There's not a lot
procedures.
of research and development.
Okay.
Okay.
A lot of building.
Yeah, building very new,
Experimental.
Progressive, proactive.
Yeah. So
stuff.
I think that's what's makes other countries produce top-notch talents. They do a lot of research and developments, build very innovative stuff. They collaborate with institutions. I think one of our last podcast, somebody mentioned one of the universities were doing very old language and people did not like it, but
They're not.
I haven't watched it.
They're not.
C++. They're teaching them to
Yeah,
learn C++
we took that
in
part out.
2025.
We took that
Oh, they
part.
didn't watch that. Okay.
Yeah,
took
but
that
they
part
took
out.
that.
also
Okay.
also yeah, I mean that's some of the problem. I mean, as is the universities, their curriculum and all those stuff, is it challenging students?
But do you actually think universities will be the one to train?
Yeah. Actually,
So when
I
you
don't
go out,
think
it's
so.
not out trade, but there's a lot of collaboration. Academia, it's you do a lot of research. I mean, there's the work environment is different, but academia also influence.
Yeah.
Because some of these things are like something like AI is purely mathematical.
Yeah.
The people that do most of the research are academians.
Academia. Absolutely.
OpenAI has tons and tons of researchers. They do most of the research before it even comes to turning it
Industry.
into code
Yeah.
and programming it. So academia influence a lot of industry, be it medicine and all those stuff. So yeah, I think maybe our universities could match up to the tax of producing very high quality people. I mean, even way beyond just the first degree, working with industry to produce very high quality people beyond that, not just go and get a master's to get a promotion. I think we should move way beyond, that. Yeah. But yeah, I think we have the talent here, but we need to be more innovative rather than just doing very basic and procedural stuff.
So I think when we spoke to Eric Insako last year, one of the key things I got from that conversation was the fact that during their era of development, Tigo was seen as a place which trains talents. I don't know right now which company is seen as a place which someone comes out of where technically the person is great.
I think generally now Ghanaian companies train talent until they
Generally.
get better opportunities somewhere. So I think that's a good one. Like every company is training talent until it gets somewhere. So it's either you come in early, learn, go and come in as a big man or a senior guy, or maybe if you are faithful, you come in and are accepted or are treated so well that you probably stay there for a longer time because you enjoy working there. So I think people are choosing their workplaces not because of sometimes not the amount of learning they have to do, but the comfort they get in there. But if people want to do it based on learning, then some of them will get tired at a point. I mean, because just like Puga mentioned, the reason why people are not enjoying or are not sharing the amazing things they are doing at the companies we have in the country is that a lot of the things are more procedural, not that much room for experimentation, not that much room for innovation. I mean, you find a company and it's been over 5 years, they've not had any other product. It's like it's the same old product. They've not changed anything. So you can guess.
Are there companies like that?
Oh, there are. And sometimes it's also not just not making the change only, or not pivoting, or not trying things, but sharing it out, making people know, okay, you're working on this, you're making this movement. Share press release. Have you heard any Ghanaian company do a product release? Maybe apart from those who are moving into AI, or trying things in AI. Not many do even we don't do product releases. Like nobody's hosting like end of year events to share what they did this year. Like the way everybody looks forward to the Apple events, Airbnb, Shopify, Microsoft, all those things like metaverse. Some have failed terribly, but they still come out to do a new like product launch, product release. They will do a whole show for it. Maybe we might not start using conference rooms and stuff, but we could do like just lives.
Come to Demo Fridays.
Yeah, come to Demo Fridays. Maybe we should start broadcasting Demo Fridays like that. Like that should be like the quarterly release of products. You want to see the new releases. I think maybe that should be one of our goals.
Yeah, I think we should.
And that is a culture we've not created, because if people can can expect, okay, what is Haptor doing this year? What is Zippy doing? What is Insano? What are they really, what new product are they releasing? It can't always be
also, I think,
paying for the same using POS and everything.
Most of the changes maybe these companies are doing are infrastructure. So,
but we still want to know.
Yeah, we still want to know what is happening. And some of the products shouldn't even be necessarily profitable or have mass market, but it should spark some kind of innovation.
Yeah, it should inspire.
It should inspire people.
Yeah,
maybe we want to push this. I mean, the amazing companies we have in the country to do product releases, to share innovations, just share what they're doing. It shouldn't necessarily be some most profitable, most world-changing or whatever.
So on that, I think after Hoptel announced the AI Labs, I don't know what they've been up to. Maybe I have not been following. I don't know.
We are much closer to Hoptel than any other media.
We
so
wanted
we'll do that.
to have a newsletter. I think I follow them on LinkedIn. They've been showcasing their new products and all that.
But I think we are open to, broadcasting some of these new releases and new features, new innovation on our platform. I think that'll be something we would love to do, because we want to see that spark. Like, what are you going to show to a young person who has been in the or a person who has been in the industry for like 5 years, 10 years? The same Momo payments, like the same websites buying, the same e-commerce. Like, what's the new thing? See how exciting sometimes things like this assets buying. I mean, M-Copper, Move. They seem exciting. Like, all of a sudden you can buy a product with 5% deposits. And like some kind of innovation, they can lock your product out of the office. Sometimes it sparks conversation. How do they do that? People even improve their skills through, hacking some of these things and trying to like find out how some of these things work. These are the things we need, because if we are releasing like innovations and new stuff every time, we bring that, we create curiosity around, we create industries around.
And and I am looking forward to a future where, just like how people are, after university, they are very excited to go do their national service at the ministries.
Where they will not retain them.
People are still excited.
People are still excited, but they don't retain them.
They are very excited. People pay huge sums of money
to go to a government agency.
So I'm looking forward to a future where, because of this conversation we've had and the change these companies are going to make, because I know they are listening and they're going to make those changes. We are getting these excitements from young people right from university. I want to go work with Haptel because I know that how they are going forward with regards to their company changes. I want to be part of something great, something is impactful. But I have a comment on the talent. I think we basically backlashed our talent from the conversations that we have.
I don't think we did.
I think we did because we basically mentioned the fact that our talent were doing not basic.
No, we didn't say the talent. We said where they work. The system puts them in that room.
I also think the system has created room for people who are very interested in building a career in tech to actually hone their craft and excel. Because we see a lot of these foreign agencies. Let me use the example of some of the embassies. They are advocating for talent to move to their countries. If the Ghanaian talent weren't that quality or well standard, I don't think that advocacy would even.
I also don't think that.
It comes back to my point that the talents are good. Some go out of the country to do very good things.
So
the majority has been like procedural stuff that we do.
And that's what I want to come. Like, can we map any good engineer, anyone who has built like amazing stuff, whether as on their own or in other companies? Can we map them that, okay, this guy worked in telco, then from telco he builds this? We don't have many people like that.
We have people like that.
You can use a lot.
But also
not non-telco systems.
We have a lot.
Non-telco systems. Like, they worked in telco, then they came out of telco to build an amazing product. They worked
to build something for themselves.
No, in other maybe like they didn't start in that industry. They built like another.
I think
because like somebody
maybe you had this conversation before.
Which one?
So right now, almost every PSP, majority of the PSPs that we have, all came out of telco. Some way, somehow. The other building services for telco, and then they saw opportunity, and then are there a lot?
No, but they are
Haptel,
Haptor did
ITCP.
Haptor did not build.
No, they were providing services for telco. Saw the opportunity and then
They were not in the telco.
no, but they providing services for telco.
No.
Why should they be from telco?
No. So I'm trying to map like people
Insano.
who entered
Koba-
into like
Koba
an
360.
originally existing place already
Mm-hmm.
and came out of that system and have built something out of that system. Not many. Do you get the mapping I want to do? Are you getting the
I
mapping
think
I
I'm
want to do?
getting what you're saying, but if you can mention some of them, no, I mean,
I might not know their names.
Okay.
I'm not so good with names, but I'm good with
Okay.
faces.
No,
I might not know their names.
So like I mean you can like just like we have the paystack mafias. They go into paystack, come out
the
of
telco
paystack.
mafia. Telco mafia.
So most of them, the point I want to make is that
Eric Isaac wouldn't want us to use telco mafia, but telco mafia.
no, but most of them are back around that same industry.
Telco industry.
Yeah, they're not. I mean,
No, a lot of people who
even
are,
when they come out
who are
of
providing
it, they're not making
value added
something
services.
So out of it.
Value added services are doing. A lot of them are doing fintech now. A lot of them are doing fintech now.
How many? When you say a lot, it sounds so many.
Well,
I think almost all of them.
We don't
that
have a lot
do
of
like-
data.
Are they up to 50?
we don't have research to back our
I think the thing is once you establish the
connection.
the relationship with the telco, it makes you easier
Yeah.
for them to trust you and
Yeah.
move into value added service.
Yeah, but it's
So
not.
those
So
people-
it's a more relation, not an innovation base.
And I think our points has changed, but let
Okay,
me
yeah,
fast
let's
forward.
do so.
I just wanted to post this. I
Right.
think when you're talking about the source of funding, and I was just thinking that could establish more established company, would it be the best way to like for them to provide support or funding for upcoming company? Will it be like the way to grow our industry?
I think that can be the subject of global
You
partnership
want companies to
investments.
fund the Achilles.
You can absorb those people.
Please.
That's what is done mostly in the US.
So
Okay.
fund them and buy them.
I mean, I would love that if you fund me and later.
Wow.
I don't think I would care
Yeah.
specifically.
But
And one last thing I want to raise is one last. I made some notes here.
Okay.
We could address it or not address it. Is there a mafia in an ecosystem?
A mafia.
Is there a mafia?
Is there a
Define
mafia?
Is there a mafia we know or a mafia or the mafia?
No, like
So what's
no,
the mafia?
Yeah,
What's a
define
mafia?
a mafia for us.
like some people gatekeeping the ecosystem.
Okay, that type of mafia.
I doubt. I think the ecosystem is
You
not.
doubt or you don't know?
No, maybe I doubt. I don't know. That's what I'm doubting. I think there's no gatekeeping. It's people not having relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of us we are too young
But
to have.
does it have to be
3
related?
months ago, I would have said there's a mafia. But now I
yeah,
can tell you for a
mafia.
fact there's no mafia.
Now you become a mafia. Wow.
I can tell you for a
That's
fact
the mafias.
there's no mafia. There's no mafia.
No, but we've seen
I-
that. We've
I-
seen that from a lot of companies. We've hosted some people here who, we assumed they probably like had the leverage to do whatever they want to do and at like in an easy way. But still,
We hosted them or you hosted them.
we hosted them, but still had challenges along the way.
Mention one.
There's no mafia. Honestly,
Yes, there's no mafia.
there's no
It's more and even the relationship cannot stand alone because when there's no innovation back in it, it becomes like one of a procurement issue. Yeah, like, okay, maybe you allow them, you get a cut out of it, those things. But we want to move out of a system that encourages nepotism and all that thing. Like
That would be very hard.
it's a bigger conversation, but just
It
like
would
good
be
on,
very hard.
good on that. Yeah.
But there's no mafia.
Yeah.
That's 3 months ago, I would have said there's a mafia. But I don't think.
But now you have joined them.
You have joined the mafia, become a mafia. Okay, so on investment, I think amazing investments have been in the country. We are ranked 5th across Africa in investment. So that's significant. Maybe another episode we'll share more
Probably
about
do a
that.
part 2 of this.
Definitely, because this is getting interesting. Actually, anything on opportunities before we wrap
Yeah,
up?
we have opportunities, and these opportunities are shared on the Grants Pilots platform. So you can just search for grantspilot.co and you get some of these opportunities. So I think the conversation already geared towards us having grants to support us.
Yeah.
So we do have some grants by O'Shaughnessy.
Yeah,
Ventures.
O'Shaughnessy. Yeah, O'Shaughnessy.
You know
I
that,
know,
yeah. So that name.
Patrick O'Shaughnessy.
Yeah. So they are offering fellowships where entrepreneurs or startups receive $100,000 equity-free grants. Yeah, to fuel their innovation. Deadline is February 28th. So look for their name and apply for them. We have the Solve community, which launched the MIT Solve 2025 Global Challenges, which is also supporting entrepreneurs with grants funding. We also have the Visa Accelerator, which...
They're back.
Sorry?
They are back.
Yes, they are, which is providing a 3-month program. I think that's the one that we got in.
Last year.
Yes, so access over $200,000 in product specs and discounts from 100 plus vendors, including AWS. Yeah, so you have your MVP, which is market tested and demonstrated traction. Please apply. Deadline is 15th March 2025. There are quite a number of them, so I'll just end with this one, which is the Open Innovation Challenges, which is also an opportunity which supports with grants close to $550,000 plus in funding, mentorship from AWS, Google Cloud, and other industry leaders. Deadline is 10th February. So there are quite a number of grants that are open for you to apply. So kindly apply. And yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So thank you so much for joining us on this episode. We are grateful to be having you here. Don't forget, subscribe, like, share, comment, tell somebody we are doing something is happening somewhere, and all that. And thank you so much for the team at Hotel Academy.
Thank you, Hotel.
I wish you mention their names.
Let's mention their names.
Let's mention their names.
Hi, thank you, Auguste. Thank you, Ponto. Thank you, Samuel.
And our guest in the studio.
Thank you,
We'll be on the show. We'll be on the show very soon.
All right, thank you so much. Have a good time. See you in the next episode. Bye bye.